So welcome to everybody who's joining us here at Centech, and for everybody who's tuning in online on the YouTube stream. Glad to have you here. So my name is Justina Sofska, and I'm the founder of Women in Blockchain Canada. And I have also joining me Javier and Ritvik, who are joining us with the ICP North America Hub. And they will be also coming in to help me out with the presentation for the more technical aspects and also describing you what the hub is doing. So basically, just a little bit of a background. Well, I think you know why you're here. We're going to talk about the Internet Computer Protocol. And I'm going to give you a bit of background also on my organization and those who I'm collaborating with. So the reason I founded Women Blockchain Canada in 2018 is because I went to a conference and there was not a lot of women who were at that conference. So I had the idea to make sure that we had more inclusion in the space. And so we aim to get to make events that are inclusive and promote women in Web3. But since we're inclusive, we welcome everybody to be here with us. So thank you all for coming. And to give you a bit of a background also on Internet Computer Protocol and why I think it's a pretty interesting protocol. They have over 1,600 research papers. They have over 100,000 academic citations and over 250 patents. So actually, Internet Computer Protocol emerged from the Ethereum community in 2015. The actual foundation was established in 2016. In 2021, that's when they launched their Genesis block of their blockchain. And basically, that is also when they held their ICO. And Definity is the organization behind Internet Computer and is a non-for-profit foundation. So in order for me to get into Internet Computer Protocol, I first want to talk about sort of the evolution of blockchain. So we first start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was started as an immutable ledger, has a lot of amazing features that I think a lot of you in the room may know about. But for those who don't, let me give you a little bit of a reminder. It's transparent, it's decentralized, it's censorship resistant. And it allowed for people basically to be able to transact peer-to-peer without having the use of a third party. And Ethereum took that idea to another level by allowing for people to launch decentralized applications on their protocol. And that was a huge milestone because then people could start building all kinds of applications for people to interact peer-to-peer and issuing tokens and so on. And what ICP does is it takes it to a whole other level because it actually so anybody in the room know what the internet actually like what are these current applications that are on Ethereum running on? Do you know? There's Ethereum running on, it has a blockchain, but it's actually on infrastructure. Anybody know that infrastructure? Okay, so the infrastructure that it's running to is actually Web 2, and it's AWS or cloud storage, Google Cloud. So those are centralized protocols. So we have Web 3 that's actually running on Web 2. So what's really cool about Internet Computer is it's what it sounds like. It's the Internet Computer. So it's not just a blockchain, it's a blockchain that is also a place that you can store information. So, and the thing is, when you're actually running websites, there's a lot of components to running websites. So it's a stack. So when you're trying to do things on the internet, you may need different pieces. So what Internet Computer did is it basically merged a lot of what you would need to run things and made it a lot simpler and easier. So the network actually, the infrastructure is all around the world. So there's data centers that have nodes running, and Adrian, can the people from the Zoom be put on audio? Because I may need some of their support for the more technical aspect. Thank you. Ritvik? Thank you.
Yep. Hey, Justina.
Hey, Ritvik. So can you say hi to everybody?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ritvik. I'm a tech advisor at ICP Hub North America.
Excellent. So yeah, I'm just displaying for them how the network is running and all about, giving them an overview of the data centers. And I would like for you to just kind of elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, sure. So, for example, the current internet, the way it works is there are these big companies like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud or even Microsoft Cloud. Most of the internet resides in their infrastructure. They have like big data centers as a data center farm, and almost 80 to 90% of the websites resides and are in the control of this big data centers. Now, when it comes to internet computer, the servers are owned by individuals and small companies. It's not like Definitive Foundation has basically their own data center and they have like thousands of servers there. So what you see on this slide is the whole network of the internet computer as of today. And you could see all these blue circles. These are owned by initial supporters of internet computer. These could be individuals or small companies who have decided to buy servers by themselves, and then they have basically put these servers on the internet computer network. And then you guys will see there are like many small green dots. These are the upcoming places geographically where more and more servers will pop up, and this will add to the decentralization of the internet computer protocol as a network itself. Justina, back to you.
Thanks, Ritvik. So has anybody in the room bridged funds from one blockchain to another? Okay, so currently what happens is when you're trying to move money from one blockchain to another, it's not always easy. Sometimes you may have to use a bridge. So that means there could be security issues. And the thing that also ICP did is they created a direct way for their smart contracts to interact with Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin ledger. Ritvik, do you want to add anything to what I stated about that?
Yeah, so the way it works is, so let's say if anybody wants to trade Bitcoin on the Ethereum network, what they'll have to do is they'll have to either go to a centralized exchange like Binance or Coinbase, and they'll have to buy the Ethereum version of Bitcoin. So it's essentially a wrapped token, and the token is only understood by the Ethereum protocol. And that way, if you have to trade that wrapped Bitcoin against Ethereum, you need that wrapped Bitcoin. Same thing happen on every other blockchain, whether it be Solana or Tron or any other flagship blockchains which are out there in the market. But it works little differently on the Internet Computer Protocol. So Internet Computer Protocol smart contracts, we call them canisters here, they have the capability to hold the private keys of a Bitcoin wallet. So when you basically trade a Bitcoin against ICP, what you're doing is you're essentially exchanging your real Bitcoin against Internet Computer Protocol token. So there is no wrapped version of the Bitcoin token which you'll be using on the Internet Computer Protocol. One does not have to go to any of the centralized exchanges to do those exchanges. It's the capability to move the real Bitcoin on the Bitcoin ledger by the smart contracts which are deployed on the Internet Computer Protocol.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. And has anybody in the room ever used MetaMask? Okay, excellent. And so one of the things that MetaMask does for most of the time that you're interacting with the decentralized applications, you're going to be paying high gas fees. Whereas actually ICP has a reverse gas fee model. So what that means is like as a user who's going to go and interact with the different websites, with the different applications, you're not actually paying for those interactions because the way that it works is that in the back end, who's really paying for running those applications are the companies who are actually running those applications to have the canisters running on ICP. So Ritvik, I have a question for you. Are there times when the user does have to pay for anything on ICP?
So in order to interact with the Internet Computer Protocol blockchain, one does not need to pay anything. It will be only the point when you want to, let's say, trade your coins here and there. That way you'll have to fund your wallets. But apart from that, every application on the ICP protocol is prepaid by the developers of that application.
Excellent, thank you. And when it comes to cost on the blockchain, so by the way, if anybody was to run a gigabyte of data Well, what you're getting for $5 in ICP is an entire gig of data for a whole year. Whereas if you're going to try to do the same thing on Ethereum, just to give you an idea, you only get 44 bytes of data. So if you look on the screen, you can see that basically for the cost per dollar on ICP, it's like 214 million bytes of data compared to 44 on Ethereum. That means the cost per interaction is like what it says on the screen, 0.0000, and you can see that it's, you know, many zeros and then 536. So that's actually what's amazing. It's allowing the blockchain form of storage to compete with companies like AWS, to compete with Google Cloud, because no other blockchain can actually do that at this point in time. It's too expensive because of the way that they're run. And the other thing is that I think is pretty important right now, and it's getting scrutiny in the space. I think we've seen over and over, you know, Bitcoin's not green, things like that. Well, it's actually a green blockchain. And Adrian, can you let Javier speak to this one?
Yeah, hello everyone. Yes, I'm Javier, the founder of the ICP Hub North America. Yeah, this is just like an initiative taken by the Definitive Foundation, also with Carbon Crowd, because they think, and it's true, that now in the different blockchain industry, there are like no transparency in terms of how much energy cost the nodes and also the blockchain in general. And they created like the proof of green between Carbon Crowd and Definitive Foundation. You can see in the dashboard all the information there, okay? All the aspects, all the energy that cost every single node in ICP, also divided in the world, in communities, in cities. And this is a pretty interesting initiative that I think in the future, every single blockchain to be competitive will need to show this type of stats. And this is just the beginning. The idea is like improve even more in the future all the stats. But I think it's a pretty interesting way to show the transparency in terms of cost of energy.
Yeah, and the other thing is that there's a lot of companies that have already gone and taken Web2 applications and they have moved them to Dfinity. So you can see, you know, like Medium, Reddit, Spotify, YouTube, things that you probably use on a daily basis. If you wanted to check them out, you can actually go and experiment with that on Web3, where the next thing that's actually going to be coming up is information about identity. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but identity theft is a pretty big problem today. Just last year, $43 billion were lost because of identity theft in the United States. And the people that it actually affects the most are the economically disadvantaged. So it's a pretty sad thing. And one of the things that, you know, even for myself, I can tell you I've been affected by fraud on the internet. So, I mean, it speaks home to me. And so what I'm going to do now is go through creating an online identity and what it's like. The other thing that it does. So I'll just explain to you what happens on other blockchains. So let's say you interact with a smart contract on Ethereum, right? You go to Uniswap, you want to trade some Ethereum to USDT, you open up a smart contract and it'll start saying, okay, you're going to do this. Do you allow us to use USDT? You make a signature. But the problem is now if you go into another website, you just enable the maximum. So you just open up yourself to a security problem. The thing is that ICP does when you're actually using your inner identity, every single time you're going and interacting with a website, you get a new identity. So they can't trace that back to you. So just because you made a vulnerability on one page, that vulnerability doesn't transfer with you to another page. So your security issue doesn't go with you. And before I go into creating this, another point I'll mention is current internet means like whenever you want to protect yourself in a form of security, you have to have a firewall. You have to do things to like prevent an attacker from coming to you. Because this is running on a blockchain and it's the internet on a blockchain, you don't even have to do that. But anyway, so let's go to creating the internet identity. It's very similar to creating a wallet. It's basically, it'll be a very quick process. So Adrian, can you allow me to screen share? I'm just gonna do a quick live demo and then we'll get into the ICP hub. So basically, for those who want to experiment with it, you can scan the QR code on the screen. If you want to be adventurous, if you don't, it's totally fine. But if you want to go along with me, so I'm going to click create new, and it's going to tell me that it's going to create a passkey, which is going to be unique to me. I'm going to authenticate and allow it to link to my, my fingerprint on my computer. I already have an internet identity, but this is my other one that I'm creating for the demonstration here. So this is generating my internet identity. So now when I want to go and use all those applications, I'll have that. This is my numeric identity. And I'm going to say, like, I'm going to copy it. You guys might want to store it somewhere. I'm going to say I saved it, continue. You can store it in your notes on your phone. You could take a screenshot. So I'm going to take a screenshot. So I have my screenshot, and now it's saying, do I want to have a recovery phase? Do I want to have a recovery device? And I'm going to say, have a new pass. Do I want to add a new passkey on my Mac? So I'm going to say yes. You'll see how simple it is. So for those who really want to start using this in real life, this is my passkey. Oh. And saying, is this a trusted device? Yes. So I'm going to go into creating my seed phrases. So basically you have your own, and what this allows you to do is, if you store it in a safe place, whatever that you consider that for yourselves, this is just for demonstration purposes only. You'll have the inner identity, and then you can do different things on ICP, whether it's interacting with like the new form of LinkedIn or Medium or anything else that you want to do. Okay, so can we go back to the presentation? Thank you. And I'm going to click, I have completed this. We're good to go. It will make you put in the identity again and the other phrases, just to make sure that you really saved your stuff and you're not just going to lose it later. Okay. So thank you. For those who want to know more about ICP and everybody who's in this presentation, you can also scan this QR code to get in touch with us. But I'm gonna allow my colleagues from the ICP Hub to go ahead and let you know what you can do, how you can get involved, the things that are available for you. So Adrian, over to my colleagues.
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, Ritwik, I'm not sure if you want to add something more to the presentation of Justina, or I can start just with the ICP Hubs.
Do you want me to cover anything specific there?
No, I can. Okay, I can start.
No, yeah. It was pretty much concise. I would just add one line to the internet identity. The internet identity on ICP works in a little bit different manner in comparison to MetaMask wallets on Ethereum. Basically, there are like multiple layers of ID representation on the internet computer. So, for example, using one Ethereum MetaMask wallet, if you go and interact on Uniswap, or you interact and go on some different websites, the same identity is visible everywhere. Whereas on internet identity, there is one core identity which is very private to you. And when you interact with that identity on various platforms, let's say the ICP version of LinkedIn or the ICP version of Medium, those websites see a different identity. So nobody can basically track what you as a user are doing on the whole internet computer protocol.
Okay, thank you. Great. Nice. Yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm Javier Arroyo. I'm the ICP Hub North America co-founder. I work for the special projects at Definity Foundation as 1 year ago. And then after 9 months in the special projects team, they evolved to the ICP Hubs. The ICP Hubs is an initiative powered by the Definity Foundation, because they are trying to spread the word and accelerate the mass adoption of internet computer all around the world. As Justina mentioned before, we have 250 people in the R&D department at the Definitive Foundation, building the world computer, the core and the technology. But ICP honestly is pretty underrated. It's because the way that Definity and in general the internet computer community spread the word before is not the best, and we don't have too much people in general before working in the marketing side. Other blockchains, maybe in terms of technology, are worse, but in terms of marketing and these type of things are really good. And this is something like internet computer community in general are changing. The ICP hubs is an amazing initiative. We have a lot of ICP hubs all around the world. The idea is like a build locally to scale globally. And spread the word about the internet computer. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, what is a hub and what does it do? Okay, in a high level, we structure the hub in different parts. For sure, the hub managers, also the partners that we have. For example, now in ICP Hub North America, we are partnering with more than 20 different companies in Canada and the US, plus also different universities, blockchain clubs. For example, Women in Blockchain Canada as well. The idea is like we have different list of verticals. We are working a lot in education aspects, in hackathons with developers, devpreneurs, also doing different events or different webinars, seminars. Also, we are trying to start building relations like directly locally with different universities as ambassadorship. Yeah, sorry, the screen, I cannot see the screen. Okay, perfect. Also, in terms of influencers as well, different meetups and partnerships with brands, with companies, with governments. This is in a nutshell, more or less, what is the hubs. Next slide, please. Yeah, Justina, please, you can go for the next slide.
This one?
Next one.
Okay. Oh, back? This
Yeah,
one?
back.
This one? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not certain if maybe it's another one before. Yeah, before, one more. Yeah, this one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah, this is more or less how it works, the ICP hubs in terms of traction and how we can attract people for the ICP ecosystem. For sure, the idea is create content to evangelism and spread the word and create awareness about internet computer. As I mentioned before, we are talking now with more than 20 different universities and schools and colleges in Canada and the US. After the evangelism, the idea is funneled down with education through workshops, webinars, bootcamps, hackathons. We are organizing different courses with universities. Also, we will be there in Waterloo as well, in the Hacker North. We will be as well in the ETH Toronto next week. We have organized different events and meetups with off-chain in Boston, in San Francisco, in Toronto, in Vancouver. And yeah, this is more or less the idea of the ICP hubs. After the education, the idea also is start with the incubation and acceleration, bringing projects from Web 2 to Web 3. And the best way is through the community grants and the developer grants that I explain you after. And for sure, the last step is launch directly. These projects launch on the ICP, and also maybe become a DAO in the future, and also receive fundings from investors and VCs. Next slide. This is like ICP hubs in a worldwide. We are 15 different ICP hubs. Here is only 9, but last week we launched another 6. This is the ICP Hub North America. We also have the ICP Latam in Argentina and Mexico, ICP Italy, Turkey, Dubai. We have in Kenya, in East Africa, in Thailand and Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Bali as well. We have in India. Next slide. Yeah, and we are growing a lot because also this initiative is pretty important for the Definity Foundation. As I mentioned you before, also last week we launched in South Korea, Philippines, West Africa, Singapore, Bulgaria, and Germany. And we have in target another 5 in Hong Kong, Brazil, Vietnam, Portugal, and Poland. Next slide. In terms of our hub, the ICP Hub North America, I'm the founder. Also, Ritvik is the tech advisor, is the Internet Computer Services founder. We have also other partners and other advisors, but more or less the idea of the ICP Hub North America is accelerate the mass adoption in Canada and the US, and also bring opportunities for developers, for people that work in the business side, also like opportunities for jobs, for funding in terms of grants. And it is the main idea for us, try to bring projects and people to the internet computer ecosystem. Next slide. This is the partners that we have actually. Currently, we have a partner with Internet Computer Services. This is a tech advisor, and also with different universities, blockchain in UBC, Toronto. We have Quantic School in New York. We have Calgary Blockchain Society as well. We are collaborating with other tech partnerships, for example, the Emergent Labs with schools, and also bring employments, Web3 employments to the students, for example, Academy Ventures. We are also in terms of events with off-chain, with Untraceable that they are organizing the ETH Toronto, Script3, also for PRs or Play Hives is a newsletters. And this is like just like a small portion, but now we are signing a lot of different partnerships in general in Blockchain North, also with the Canadian Blockchain Consortium and different universities in United States as well. Next slide. Again, as I mentioned before, the idea is accelerating the internet computer mass adoption in the US and Canada. Just to be in a perspective, the ICP Hub North America launched 2 months ago. We are the second cohort of this initiative. The first cohort started 6 months ago. We started just like 2 months ago, and this is just the beginning, and we are doing achieving great things, and this is just the beginning, as I mentioned. What is our main activities? In the first phase, we are focusing in create awareness. We are doing a lot of events, conferences, seminars, workshops, meetups in different cities in Canada and the US. The idea is also attract developers. We just launched a free course in TypeScript for beginners, for developers that just are starting their journey in blockchain. Also in Python as well, Rust for maybe for developers that have more experience. We are also attracting influencers through the community grants program, calls, PRs. We have a couple of hackathons organizing for September, and the incubator program. The idea is to start launching in October as well, and also doing like different pitching competitions. But this is more or less in an overview what is the activities that ICP Hub North America is doing. Next slide, please. And also, yeah, this is like important slide. This is the Definity Community Grants Program. I'd encourage you to scan the QR code, because this is like a huge opportunity for everyone, not only for developers. The community grants is focusing in 5 different verticals: in events, education, content, influencer, and innovator in residence. Innovator in residence is pretty new. It's like for small projects that want to build like a DApp or something like small, because they can also apply for the developer grant, but something like is pretty to deploy, and they don't need like a big or huge teams of developers to achieve it. And then the other ones, events, for sure, is like organizing different events or hackathons. education, if you want to create like content or create like courses for developers or courses for in general, right? For talking about maybe metaverse, NFTs, or tokenization, these type of things. Also, Dfinity Foundation support the guys that want to be part and bring value to the internet computer ecosystem. For sure, all the things related with content, if it's article, research papers, academia, is also pretty welcome. And influencers, even influencers, if you have a YouTube channel, a TikTok channel that you talking about crypto and you want to be part of the ICP ecosystem, you can also apply for the grants. We have 3 levels for each grant. The levels are Engage, Inspire, and Accelerate grants. The Engage is $5,000 USDs. Inspire is $15,000, and Accelerate is $25,000. We have in the website, if you scan the QR code, you have the handbook with all the information, and also you have the KPIs. The KPIs is the metrics to measure exactly how many users or followers you need for the influencer, or how many people you need to be attendant the events. And based on these different metrics, you can apply for the Engage, Inspire, Accelerate grants, 5K, 15K, 25K. But this is really, really cool. The grants for everyone, not only for developers. And I encourage you to reach out to the ICP Hub North America, to me, to Ritbik, in our website or the Telegram group. And if you're interested and you think you can bring value to the internet computer, we are so happy to have a call with you and discuss the different initiatives that you can offer us. Next slide. This is just like an information about our next events. Today, the Centech for sure. And next week, we are in the ETH Toronto. We have now more than 300 registrations. We have a booth the 15th and also the 16th, an event during 4 hours with different projects on ICP, the biggest projects, also with a couple of engineers from the Dfinity Foundation, to explain more about internet computer, to explain more about the community grants, the developer grants, and all the ecosystem that we have now. But yes, pretty cool event. If you are in Toronto next week, yeah, we can see you there and meet us. But it's really, really good event. And then we have in Seattle as well, the 29th of September, sorry, 29th of August, we have an event with Upchain in Seattle. And then we will be in Waterloo as well, in the Hacker North, in the hackathon there in Waterloo University. Next slide. And this is also like a nutshell for developers. We also have a developer grant program. It's like a huge initiative for the Dfinity Foundation. I think it's like now more than 2 years with these developer grants. We funded more than 50 different projects, and Dfinity invests more than $200 million in these developer grants. Next slide. Yeah, just in a glance, as I mentioned, total of 200 millions allocated for developers building on internet computer. Also now we launched the artificial intelligence grants as well, plus the female developer or founder grants. Why? For sure, to grow the internet computer ecosystem. We need communities, but we need also developers to build apps, to build the ecosystem. And also, yeah, how you can apply submitting the application directly. I recommend it, go to the website, the Dfinity Foundation website, or directly Google Dfinity Developer Grants Program and read more about this program, and feel free to apply for sure. Next slide. How it works, the grant process. First, you have to submit your application with filling out the form. Then in a week, you will receive an email if it's go through the process or not. If it's go through the process, you will have an interview. The growth team, the Dfinity Foundation growth team, interview you, and also you have to show exactly what is your deck, what is your idea, what is your strategy, back end, front end of the project. in general, all the specific things in terms of business and also in terms of technology. Then when the grant accepted, when the grant committee accept the grant, you have to, the next step is basically have deliverables and milestones. Normally depends the quantity of the grant, if it's 5,000, 25,000 or 100,000, there are the three levels. Depends what is the milestones. You have one deliverable, two deliverables, or three deliverables or more. This is also important. You don't get the money upfront, the whole amount. You receive one part, one portion, and then you once you finish your milestones and you achieve your milestones, the Definity Growth team review with you in a quick call to see if you already achieved these goals, and then you get the new funds. And then, yeah, of course, the final demo, the developer team complete the project at the final milestone review, and also like a support with another grants. Imagine normally the 100,000 grant is difficult to achieve. It's only if you have like a big project also in production with customers. If not, normally like small projects, startups start for the first level, 5,000. If the team is pretty big and you have a lot of developers in your team, you can apply for the 25K. And then once you achieve the deliverables, even you can apply for the biggest one, for the 100K. Next slide. Yeah, this is like important as well, writing a great application. We have a lot of good projects that has been rejected for lack of information in the grants, or maybe because they don't have developers in the team. And this is important. Definitely is not, they cannot allocate the developers. If you have a good idea, that's perfect, but also you need developers to achieve your goal and your idea. It's pretty important. Be very clear about what you are building or how you want to build, what is the expected deliverables, also the milestones, technical deliverables for each milestone, and also who is the person behind the project, why you want to build this project, why are you passionate about, why you like internet computer as well, also the skills of your team, experiences, previous companies or previous business that you ran before. This is pretty important to the Definity, for the committee to see, like evaluate the grant if it's approved or not approved or rejected. Next slide. Yeah, again, as I mentioned before, grant size, we have three different levels: $5,000, $25,000, and 100,000. The first level is for small projects, for startups, typically tools, libraries, or POC. Also, is like be completed within a couple of months. Then the second grant is 25,000. Is for mid projects, more than 3 months duration. Is typically like for dApps that are building tools, libraries, or developer productivity projects. The goal for sure is launch at the end of the grant. Normally it takes like 5 months, 6 months, but or at least 3 months. And then 100,000 is usually projects with more traction and also that are in production and have testing before, that have a strong communities and clients. And normally they don't approve directly a grant for 100,000. Normally this, they apply for 5,000, the teams apply for 5,000, 25,000, and then they can go for the 100,000. Yeah. Next slide. Yes, what we don't support, the Definity Foundation, they don't support containing explicit content for sure, betting and gambling as well, and also NFT marketplaces, because they already supported a lot of different NFTs marketplaces. Rest of the activities, rest of the business, if the project is good, Definity is more than welcome to give grants for good projects, of course. Next slide. Also, you have more options for small projects. You can also get for bounties. You can click these different GitHubs, Definity grants. You can apply for bounties, also for the startups, and also the community grants that I explained before. But I encourage you to go to the definity.org. In the definity.org, you have all the information about the grants, about the developer grants, about the community grants. And yeah, we are more than welcome to sponsor your grant. We are not decision makers. The ICP Hub North America, we are not decision makers, but we have directly contact with the committee, the Definitive Foundation Committee, and we normally review the projects. The projects write a draft, and we can review the draft and see if it's possible to improve. We give feedback to the projects, and then once we are on the same page, once we think the project is cool, and also the application is already filled out properly, the teams submit the application. Again, we are not decision makers, but at least we can help through the process. Next slide. Yeah, that's all. Justina, over to you.
Thank you, Javier, for that, and thank you, Ridvik. So for anybody in the room who has questions, we're opening the floor. So does anybody have any questions, anything you want to know about, anything you want us to add to? So let's start with the first question. So the gentleman in the audience, he's asking, what are the preferred languages that are used on Dfinity? Is there some? And I'm going to answer for part of it. As far as I'm concerned, you can use TypeScript. Okay, you can use Rust, and you can use Motoko. Ridvik, am I missing anything?
Yeah, and there is one more development kit available in Python. It's called Kybra. And Kybra and Hazel is for TypeScript. Both supports the capability to code smart contracts on the Internet Computer Protocol.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you want to know about?
A little more. So you won't be able to write smart contracts in Golang, for example. You wouldn't be able to support that. I would imagine there's some way to make that work. Is that a fair assumption or not?
Yeah, so for Golang, there is no direct support as of now, but as long as one could code something in Golang and have an outputs in WebAssembly format, those WebAssemblies could be deployed to ICP protocol.
Okay, and there's no support for Solidity either. Is that correct?
Yeah, no support for Solidity as of now, but there is a layer 2 on the ICP protocol that is called Bitfinity Network. They do support EVM-based smart contracts. So if you want to port any of the smart contracts from Ethereum on ICP, the Bitfinity network, which is layer 2, would be the gateway to operate on.
The second question has more to do with the resources. I understand you say you're using AWS's resources, but are they entirely interoperable? Do you have the same security protocols, the same deployment on S3 buckets, EC2? What is the system there? Are there more restrictions, restraints? Do you have more vulnerabilities because the network is smaller? For example, the DDoS attacks. What is the nature of the infrastructure?
Yeah, so probably I misheard you. Internet Computer Protocol does not work on AWS. So Internet Computer Protocol is powered by individual node providers. So individuals like me, like you, we could basically buy servers from the market and be part of the network. But the security protocol is built well within the Internet Computer Protocol itself. So it's their own custom operating system, which runs on every machine across the world, and they all work in tandem with each other. So whatever happens, every machine executes the same thing, and it's a deterministic derivation of input going through a smart contract and what the output is coming. And once the consensus is achieved, that's basically written to the state machine. Now, to answer your other parts of the question, in terms of the DDoS and other network related security considerations. So DDoS protection is built within the Internet Computer OS itself, and every node machine which is running it, they have a very sound firewalls, and the rules are updated mostly on a weekly basis via proposals, which are like open to the community. Anybody could basically come in and provide a new proposal to improve more on the security side. But yeah, they regularly patch their OSs all across all the machines which are deployed across the globe. Very similar to how the improvement happens on the Ethereum network with Ethereum improvement proposals. Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? Go ahead.
Justina, we could share the Bitfinity, the layer 2 in Internet Computer. Maybe we can share after the presentation the website also about the Bitfinity Foundation. Sorry, the Bitfinity project and how they are allowed to run Ethereum in ICP through Solidity. Yeah, I think it would be great as well.
So you want me to send a message to all the participants with those websites? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I can do that after.
Yeah.
And then what we can do too is I can give them the Telegram. If you can, the QR code for your Telegram group is in this presentation, right? Or no? If it's not, it's okay. I'll take care of that. So yeah, I think the best way to reach Ridvik and Javier is through the Telegram. So after this, we'll distribute that. So go ahead.
So first, thank you for this presentation. That was very interesting. I'm curious to learn more about the size of the current ecosystem, and you were talking a lot about like growing the ecosystem. So what are the current target that you're setting for this year or the next few years?
So I'll let Javier go ahead and discuss that because they work more directly. Well, I'm partnered with them. So Javier, go ahead. Or Ridvik.
Yeah, I can. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can add that in general, in Canada and the US, people don't know too much about Internet Computer. That's why it's a problem, right? Because the blockchain is really powerful, and the activities and all the ecosystem is growing every single day. The Internet Computer is just the world computer. It's just like an open internet. But then there are a lot of things behind the scenes. There are a lot of teams working in different projects in DeFi, projects in NFTs, projects that are supporting like technology on Internet Computer, social media. For example, we have Open Chat, we have Hot or Not, is like the decentralized version of TikTok and the decentralized version on WhatsApp, that they raise funds like 5.5 million in just 5 hours, and is valuated at more than 25 million, these type of companies. Each project is different for sure, but we are supporting a lot whatever project you have. In terms of developers is our main goal now, because for sure we need to have more services and more dApps on the space. But when I say like grow the community, also as Justina did before, is just like create an internet identity and interact with Discover, for example, that is a really cool social media, or with other dApps that we have. It's pretty important. And our idea now is focusing on users, focusing on developers, and focusing on teams, right? The mission of the hub works as a bridge between investors and projects. This is the main goal for us. But now in the first phase, the idea is like spread the word and have more developers involved, have more users involved to use the Internet Computer ecosystem, to use the dApps. But at the end of the day, we are trying to decentralize the internet totally. We are trying to be, we are not like Ethereum killers or Solana killers or whatever blockchain killers. We are more like trying to like be the Amazon Web Services killers, or try to like decentralize the full internet, right? And try to like the data and the information is for the users, not for the centralized corporations that they sell it to third parties, or they can manage whatever they want to do. This is more or less my opinion on that. But just to finish and to summarize, everyone is more than welcome to participate and to be part of the community. In our first phases, we just focusing more in developers and users for sure.
And to
Ren,
add to what
you
you're
want to add
saying,
something more?
well, I think to just let everybody in the room know, I'm planning to do a TypeScript event with Internet Computer, and also planning to do a hackathon later down the line, and to combine people from different backgrounds. So like we obviously need people who are from business and also people who are developers, because if you're going to build an application, you need a solid idea, you need to know what you want to do, how you're going to maybe market it down the line. And you also need people who build it out. So I think the point of we're going to conclude and have the networking is so you can meet people in the room who I know are building on different blockchains, and who are, who can even connect you to other ecosystems. And now that you know this information is here, you can combine with these people and have your idea built out. You don't have to know anything. What you need to have is something that you want to do. I think that's the best way I can put it. So I just wanted to thank everybody again. I wanted to thank the ICP North America Hub. I want to thank Centech for having us here. I wanted to thank Centech DAO for helping us stream this from the metaverse. I really appreciate everybody who came out on this rainy Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m. So a big shout out to everybody, and especially Adrian from Centech and Justin from Centech DAO, and also Jordy for helping me take the photos. So thank you, everyone, and let's enjoy. So there's some food in the back, so let's mingle and have some bites and have a chat.
Yes, Bajia. Nice to meet you.